The tens of millions of people who rely on Social Security, veterans benefits, and federal pensions may get another relatively small cost of living adjustment next year. An Associated Press analysis indicates the 2014 increase will be roughly 1.5%. That's because consumer prices have not gone up much in the past year. One of President Obama's top advisors for several years says the people who screwed up the health care reform rollout should pay with their jobs. Tonight, Chief National Correspondent Jim Engel tells us Robert Gibbs is not the only Washington insider crying foul over Obamacare.
The battle over Obamacare has receded somewhat as Republicans now focus on trying to keep Democrats from raising federal spending, but the views of many conservatives have not changed about the law or its rollout.
You got to go to a website that doesn't work to try to sign up for a plan you can't afford and send your information to the IRS, which has already proven they won't treat it confidentially.
It's not just a glitch in terms of the rollout, it's a breakdown. Having tried myself to get on yesterday, I feel sorry for the New York Times researcher I heard about this morning who spent 11 days trying to get on and ended up with a blank screen.
The architect of the website said in March that we'll be lucky if this thing doesn't look like a third world experience.
Even former presidential spokesman Robert Gibbs told MSNBC today that this is excruciatingly embarrassing for the White House. This was bungled badly, he continued. This is not a server problem, just too many people came to the website. This is a website architecture problem. Democratic Senator Richard Durbin concedes it was a rocky start, but argues it was because so many people need coverage.
15 million people wanted to get on. Because why? Because 40 or 50 million Americans don't have any insurance. This is their first chance, many of them, to ever have health insurance. They're desperate for an affordable health insurance policy.
The president and other top officials have dismissed the rollout problems as glitches that'll soon be fixed. Republicans don't buy it.
I think it's much deeper than that. I think the law is fundamentally flawed. I also think this rollout has been a disaster, not just a glitch.
Which is why a number of Republicans have argued for a year's delay in the individual mandate, just as the president delayed the employer mandate.
They did not want to extend the same break that the president gave to big business, did not want to extend that to the rest of America.
Regardless of what happens on spending issues, it's clear that Obamacare will remain an issue no matter what other agreements are made. Brett?
Jim, thanks. Tonight, a story about workers at one North Georgia business, who've become victims of Obamacare. Senior national correspondent John Roberts on how the law intended to provide coverage for almost all is having the opposite effect for many.
50 interviews.
Debbie and Larry Underkoffler started their temp staffing business 5 years ago in what they call the worst economy ever, doing anything they could to stand out.
I would bake sourdough bread, and I made homemade strawberry jam and would deliver it to my prospects.
Their boutique operation has grown to 18 full-time employees, all of whom receive generous health care benefits. They also manage about 400 temps who can buy into a separate plan. But when Obamacare kicks in, all of those employees get lumped into the same pot.
The way the regulations work is that they count all the hours worked by all the staff, including all the temporaries.
Under Obamacare rules, their full-time staff will suddenly leap from 18 to more than 200, and they would have to provide health insurance for all of them, something the Underkofflers say would sink their business.
The reality is we can't. It's too expensive.
So the company will have no choice but to pay the fine of $2,000 per employee per year and cancel health insurance for everyone, including their 18 current full-timers.
It's a sad situation that they'll lose that coverage that we like, that we have chosen for them, but they're going to lose it.
The Underkofflers are beyond frustrated. Their specialty, they say, is getting people back to work. But Obamacare will change the way they do business, even possibly limit its growth. While the fine is way below the cost of providing health care, it could still take $400,000 off their bottom line in just the first year.
It does make me very angry that, we've worked so hard, and then, as you just said, and then somebody come in and say, but you've got to do it this way, and so it is going to affect us very negatively.
The Underkofflers are hopeful that with a year's delay in the implementation of the employer mandate, the administration will realize the unintended consequences of the law and make changes. But with the way the White House has its heels dug in on Obamacare, they don't expect that will happen. Brett?
John, thank you. Still ahead, who wins and who loses in the Republican shutdown politics, back and forth with Democrats. First, more talking about talking about the civil war in Syria.